Okay, so you ever notice the Dems are really solidified? They're really together when it comes to. I mean, they're a solid group of people. They
Yeah.
back each other. They're gonna they got your back all up until you don't follow everything they want to say or do, and then all of a sudden you are the worst human being possible in the world. You ever notice that?
Yeah, I'm noticing that now, which is very eye-opening for that party.
Are they
Yeah.
seeing that, people like Bill Maher and George Clooney, who we'll have a clip of here soon, these are these staunch liberal Democrats who have been Democrats forever, lived and died by the sword with the Democrat Party, no matter what they did, no matter how much they screwed shit up or anything like that, they were behind them. They locked it. Like Republicans, they'll turn on each other, no problem. I'm noticing more that the Democrats are starting to turn on anyone who doesn't abide by their narrative, doesn't follow the tracks, and wants to go off and do their own thing. You ever notice that?
Kind of interesting when people start seeing the light, then
Yeah.
they can recognize the darkness. Isn't that funny?
Isn't it funny? Well, we
Hmm.
talk about that a little bit as we get into this. Welcome to the Rude Barn Podcast, everyone. Let's get going.
Lunatic is on the grass. Lunatic is on the grass.
All right, welcome to the Rude Barn Podcast, everyone. How you doing? How you doing, Rude? My buddy Rude right there.
What up? I'm the
What up?
Rude. That's the Barn, and we're gonna get into it today, folks.
Oh man, have you ever had some friends that were like your friends forever, and then all of a sudden you did something they didn't like, and all of a sudden you really didn't hear from them a whole lot
You
after a
gotta
while?
turn away from them. You gotta turn away from them, and you have to slander their name.
Oh yeah,
And you have to try to dig up dirt on them for, I mean, you got to go way back in their past to get
Yeah.
the real good dirt, right?
right. Of course.
And and
What you
and
do.
then you have to damn them, man, for everything they've ever done.
Absolutely, they are a pariah. They are a parasite. They are just a zit on the ass of society, and you got to shun them for it, ridicule, mock them, and completely denigrate them as much as you.
I mean,
possibly can.
because you wouldn't want to not be a good person, right?
Well,
By
no.
not doing that.
Oh yeah,
That makes sense.
Exactly. So it's interesting to see what's kind of been going on lately, and it's like you got a lot of these people, saying one thing and then flip flopping. It's like with the Democrats, like Nancy Pelosi, we're talking about tariffs, for example. We're going to get into a little video here, with Obama talking tariffs and talking like a China hawk that he was, and it's like Nancy a while ago put this thing up, and maybe you've seen it back in '96 or something like that, talking about how the trade imbalance with the tariffs, because tariffs seem to be on everything all over the place, everywhere in the world, and there's nothing you can do about it because everybody wants to tariff goods coming in from the U.S. into their country. And we only put a little itsy bitsy witty bitty tariff on their shit coming into our country.
Well, and the funny thing is too, is if you actually do the research, the amount of exports that people accept from the U.S. is fucking minimal, and we have to pay out the nose to get it in there. I mean, a lot of countries, and this is sad, but this is the truth. And me and Barn are always about talking the truth. They won't take our vegetables. They won't take our meat. They will. I mean, very minimal produce that other countries will even take from us, and that's a whole nother episode. Why they won't?
That could be from like Monsanto and Cargill and all these, amalgamated, places, whatever. Big produce manufacturers with all the pesticides. They don't want it. That's right. Have you ever been to Europe? You ever been out of the country and had food from somewhere else?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I haven't been on that side. I haven't been across that ocean.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I've never left the landlocked. I know you have. But the furthest way I've gone is Mexico.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you ever get over, and it took a while. I was a lot older when I finally got to go over to Europe, and it kind of sucks because our kids have been there a couple times already, a few times anyway. But We were just on a little cruise in the Mediterranean, did France and Italy and Malta, and a couple places. And man, I tell you that the food, the pizza and whatnot in Italy, it just has a whole much better, fresher taste to it.
Cleaner,
yeah, all of that. And it's like they don't use these mass pesticides. They don't use stuff like this appeal, which is supposed to maintain the freshness look of your fruits and vegetables. You can't wash it off either. So it lasts longer in the grocery store and all these things. Horrible shit. I don't know what we're ingesting. The pesticides to keep the all the bugs out of the crops and stuff like that. They don't have that, at least in the way we do. And so their produce and their food system and sources are a lot better. Plus, they don't also allow shit like high fructose corn syrup, yellow number 5, red dye number 3, or whatever the ones that are the poisons. They don't have all of the unpronounceable chemicals when you look on the ingredient label on their shit on their food. And so that's probably why it tastes a little better. That's
yeah.
So,
well, and that's why we have Uncle Kennedy in there. Trying to straighten this shit out.
Yeah, and I think he wants to make America healthy again. Why not?
Maha, baby.
Maha, bitches. That's right. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong if you want to chastise him because he's in the Trump White House. If you want to chastise him for that, and I'm not saying he's perfect. I wasn't a big fan of his, and I'm still not. I still just look, okay, well, arm's length.
Yeah.
And I hope that he does everything he's trying to do, but I hope he's really, truly trying to make the system better. The USDA, the FDA need to revamp, need to be basically burned down to the ground and then built back up because they're useless as far as I'm concerned right now. Well, we don't have FDA approval on that. Good. I don't want it because it's useless. Yeah. Who's paying whom to approve something? I mean, give me a break. That's all it's about.
Well, and the thing is, too, is, he came over to the red camp. And even if he would have, if the blue camp would have stayed in power and put him in this kind of position, he'd be doing the same thing.
He'd be doing this, too.
He'd be wanting to do this thing, and he'd want to. I mean, look at the guy. What is he, late 60s? And he's a rock, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
did you see him doing that video with his shirt off, doing his push-ups?
Yeah. Like, he's a pillar for men's health. Like, I felt like shit. Like, I started working out again after I saw that video. I was like, good God, dude.
Felt kind of like a girl a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, right? Like, I got to get rid of my man boobs. Look at
Well, but look at what they've been doing. Look what the Democrat Party did. Once he left, they, harangued him. I mean, he was just chastised, ridiculed, put down. He's evil. He's this, that, and the other. This is what the Democrat Party does. I mean, I hate to say it. I'm not a big, Republican fan. We're independent. We look at both sides of the aisle, but I'll tell you, I don't recall a lot of Republicans just shellacking, doxing these people, basically, who leave the Republican Party because of whatever, and they don't go after them. But the Democrat side seems to always do this a hell of a lot more, if not almost exclusively.
Slam and slander. That's exactly what we said in the opening. They try to slam, slander, dig up shit from the past and try to make them look as horrible as possible. When at one point,
Tulsi, look what happened to Tulsi too.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tulsi's still having a rough time getting out of that, pit that they put her in. I love Tulsi, but still, Tulsi's. I'm still kind of arm's length with Tulsi.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Who's done that? But they did put her on the no-fly list, which they called her a domestic terrorist or some shit like that, and put her on, and she had people following her wherever she was going through the airport or whatever, thinking that she's Russian asset, Russian spy, which I love. He's like racist or Russian spy or asset or something. This is the playbook. Do you ever notice this, people? You ever hear the same bullshit over and over again?
It's exactly the same, and they have nothing else to go off of because it's all bullshit.
Yeah. So Kennedy comes over, tries to do the health and human services thing, get us healthier again, and then Trump, and I'm not thrilled with everything he's doing either, but I think overall, I think he's definitely trying to do what's best for the country. And whether you agree with the tariffs or not, and I'm still on the fence. I think there's some that will work, some that won't, and it'd be good, it'd be bad. And I'm kind of iffy. I'm on the fence on it. I don't like tariffs to begin with because it's just a tax.
Well,
it's just another tax.
Here's the thing, Barn, and this is kind of one thing I do love about Trump, is he does stuff like this to cause a reaction. It's just like that, him saying that he might consider running for a third term. And
that's a troll, people. He's trolling you.
Exactly. And he's doing this to troll those other companies because what happened? Phones were ringing off the hook with other countries calling in, and saying, hey, well, let's do this and want to make deals and stuff like that. It's the only reason why he did that. But the cool thing was he didn't just talk about it. He did it. And that's the difference, because you can't give other countries, especially like with money shit. Well, you can't give them empty threats either.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. For sure.
You know what I mean? He said it out loud, and they didn't want to call. They didn't want to do any deals. And that was the first kind of sign of a threat. And he said, I'm doing it, baby. Yeah. Boom. Did it.
We're doing it. Oh, wait, that was Bush. He doesn't know how to do it.
This is going to be
the tariffs. We're going to do till you're fired. We're doing the tariffs.
They're going to come crawling back.
And they'll be begging us because we're incredible. So so
we're gonna have big power again,
right?
But the thing is, in that, I think he got the exact reaction he was hoping for and he wanted, and it just goes to show, you don't give empty threats, you do it, and then see what happens, and like I said, what's happening? I just heard a thing this morning while I was going through some stuff, and that's exactly it. Phone's ringing off the hook. They couldn't wait to get on the phone and start making some deals, baby. And making a deal. He's all about the deal. He's gonna make a huge deal. It's gonna be the greatest deal.
It's gonna be tremendous.
It's gonna be a beautiful deal.
Yes. Well, here we have a clip from Jesse Waters' show on Fox. Yes, it's on Fox, and it's okay. And for all the people who know Fox. Well, this is what I say to you who listen to MSNBC and CNN. Oh God, you guys are freaking dude too. So,
well, we have a little bit of clip later about what MSNBC does and why.
Yeah, and why they are one of the worst. At least CNN is trying to be a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But anyway, this is Jesse Waters. He's got Obama on here from 2012, talking about the tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a new tariff in town.
That was good.
J. Trump.
That was good.
Let's listen to this here and see what it's It's about a minute long. Let's check this out.
Warren Buffett, 20 years ago, said bad trade policy was selling the nation out. And nothing's changed until this week. Tariffs are just one piece of the puzzle. Cheaper energy, lower tariffs, and tighter borders. That's going to make everyone's salaries go up. Lower taxes, regulation, and spending. That'll ignite an economic boom.
Oh, hell yeah.
We've been talking about doing this for 50 years. People say, well, why now? Because it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. Former senior Trump economic advisor Stephen Moore is here. So what is the strategy, Stephen Moore? Is it negotiate down other countries' tariffs or keep our tariffs up for however long it takes to bring all high-end manufacturing back home?
Hey, Jesse, great to be with you. Thanks for having me. And I think you summarized the situation very well. But we should acknowledge that people are feeling very worried right now. They're very nervous. I've lost a lot of money. A lot of people have lost a lot of money in the last week. It's been a brutal week. But I'm here to tell you things are going to get better. Trump is going to win. I would never bet against this president. And I think at the end of the day, and I hope it comes sooner rather than later, you're going to start seeing these countries make concessions. And by the way, Jesse, they should do this. It's in their interest and our interest for them to reduce their tariffs. I want to make sure people understand, because nobody at these other networks are telling the American people this. We have the lowest tariffs in the world. We are the freest trade country in the world. These other countries are well above where we are.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're talking about. And it's true. If we don't have equal footing, and we're only selling our products over there, and they bump us up 30%, but we're only adding 2 or 3% onto their stuff coming in here. And we wonder why people are buying Toyotas, Lexuses, Hondas, just cars, for example, and Ford and GM and Chrysler and all of them are not selling as much. First of all, hopefully they'll make a better product, and hopefully they are making better products.
That's been big.
Big. And if they can do that and compete, and I think they are coming up with much better vehicles, and you got your gas mileage, you got your power, you got your longevity, you got your resale value, you got all these things that factor into the vehicle. Then we can compete. And that's why the UAW leader, who was just a huge camel toe supporter. I mean, he just was like, oh, camel of this, camel of that, blah, blah, blah. Love her, screw Trump and all that. He's now on the Trump train with these tariffs because he realizes that adding these tariffs onto imports coming in here, or to at least to companies who don't manufacture here in the U.S. You can be a foreign-owned company. This is the thing that people don't get. You could be Toyota or Honda or BMW or Mercedes or whatever. Like BMW has a huge plant in South Carolina. Toyota, I think, has one in like Ohio or something like that. But they build them here. Ford has been shipping all their manufacturing down to Mexico. And so those jobs are going there, and that's why people are a little pissed. Like Ford, I thought that was a existential, American-made company. American. Yeah. It's American. No, it's American, man. You know what I'm saying? No, we are all American. We work for you. We put an
American flag on it. It's American.
Yeah. Yes, I can be extremely racist, and I don't care. Anyway, but it's true. They're making theirs in Mexico. If they brought the manufacturing back up to the U.S. so that all these auto workers will have jobs making Fords, then they help make Toyotas and BMWs and Hondas and Lexus and Hyundai and Fiat and whatever, but not those Russian cars, not those Chinese those cars, just the good ones, But we would have manufacturing back here, and that's the thing. You can buy a Toyota and it's on the same playing field as a Ford because we have U.S. auto workers manufacturing here. Now, the other problem is, like with a Ford F-150, I think they said there were 24 to 30 different countries creating parts elsewhere that they ship back into the U.S. to make a Ford F-150, for example. That sounds absolutely insane. Why can we not manufacture these parts here?
I was talking to a gal just the other day, and her name's Amber May, by the way, and she runs a show on Rumble. Just a quick plug. Amber May show on Rumble. She's super awesome. Great lady. Check her out when you get a second. But I was talking to her, and she said that their F-150 2018, I believe. I might have to go back and check the numbers, but 2018, their F-150 motor just blew up. And they don't even do. They're in Arizona. They don't even do that much commuting. And her husband is he's in law enforcement. And so he drives a company car. That's what I'm getting at. He drives a company car. They don't do that much commuting with this, like long haul commuting with this vehicle. Yeah. And that just goes to show, when you have parts from all over going into these vehicles, that could be one of the reasons why you got to ship product. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Not quite to manufacturer's specs where it's going to fit like a glove in there. And so if it's not like a glove, then the shit might not work after a while very well.
And that, I think, I'm hoping, again, like you say, we bring this manufacturing back here, and and those parts manufactured, not just putting the shit together here. Yeah. It's manufacturing the parts that go in them here. Bring all those jobs back, bring all that industry back here, and we're gonna have a better product. Okay, we might have to pay a couple thousand, maybe even 10,000 more for this vehicle. It's fine, because that is going back into our economy. It's going back to our workers, and it's bringing back the middle fucking class.
But it may not even be that much more, because
Might not even be that much more.
Yeah, because if we start bringing this manufacturing back, eventually, as you produce more of these parts and everything on our own,
we're not gonna have to fucking pay for them.
it's going to be less and less as it goes down. You know, of course, you manufacture a lot of things, the price goes down per unit and things like that. So maybe it's only going to be $1,000 more than it was, or $500, or who knows? It may not be $5,000.
Another thing too, you know, talking about vehicles, they were saying that they might give us a tax break on them if you buy it, you know, made in USA.
I'm
okay with that.
Yeah, don't buy American, buy American. Oh yeah, gringo, yeah, you buy American. No, we buy American.
Yeah,
not that there's anything wrong. I love Mexico, but
Mexico's great. Yeah, great drinks.
Exactly. So hopefully that's going to work. But I think, you know, as you see more and more, and you get some more Democrats coming on board saying, you know, I don't necessarily agree with tariffs, but I think in the long run, you got to play the long game here. You got to play the long game. You can't sit here and just look at the here and now. What's going to be best? So, okay, this is okay. So I had a hernia surgery the other day, and I had to go through the pain of the hernia surgery. But now it's getting healed up. I'm back down. I'm better than ever. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to go through some pain to get the reward at the end. And that's
I agree.
Probably what we're doing right now.
And I think that, you know, I feel this way again, because like I'm not as like dug into you know, politics and all this kind of stuff as you are, and then some of my friends as well. But over the last year or so, you know, I've been educating myself a little bit more and more about it, right? And the thing is it sounds like an excuse for higher prices and inflation, right? It really does, especially if you're like middle of the road, you're independent, or else, you know, you're on the D side. If you're on the D side, it really sounds like it's an excuse for inflation, right?
Oh yeah.
So
because you can't give Trump a win that benefits everybody, Dems alike.
Well, and like I said, like me being middle of the road, I mean, it's harder and harder not to lean toward the red side, you know, nowadays. But at the same time, just kind of being middle of the road for America, you know what I mean, for the Constitution. I think that it does still, to me, sound a little bit like an excuse, you know, to raise prices and raise inflation, especially after like how we just got slapped in the face with this shit over the last 4 years, right? Nobody wants to pay more money for their goods at this point. Nobody.
Especially when it was government driven too. That's
right. Yeah. Government driven. And we all suffered.
Yeah, exactly.
And the problem is with this now too, is yes, we're going to see some raise in prices again. Yes, we are. And like you said, I think that we play the long game. We stick in it for the long game, and hold them accountable for the long game, and not just let it go. You know what I mean? Hold them accountable and say, okay, well, this is what you said was going to happen. This is the effects. The thing I like about Trump, though, is normally I think with somebody else, this would take 4 years, and he would just be like, he'd just leave office and be like, deal with it. You know what I mean? Right. But he gets shit done so fast, and so
well, he only has this term. This is it.
Right.
So
well,
he
gets done. Yeah, he gets stuff done, and he gets stuff done efficiently, and I think that that's the difference. So we're gonna be seeing, we're gonna have to, you know, it's gonna be rough for a year or two. And I think that, but after that, I think it's going to level. I hope it's going to level out within a couple of years.
How bad would it have been continuing on if
oh God, dude.
Man. I mean, it would get worse, and then it would continue to just go downhill, worse and worse and worse. And if you people don't believe it, and you think that Kamala was going to do something wonderful, I got a bridge in Nebraska to sell you. I mean,
well, she didn't know her asshole from her mouth, right? And the problem was
still doesn't.
Is she's not she's not smart enough to put a team together like this, because it's not her that would have been doing these things.
Right.
It's the team that she put together, and a team would have been forced upon her because she was just a puppet. You know what I mean? She would have been the puppet in the
She
the
still
state.
is a puppet. Exactly.
Well, right, a drunk puppet. and the thing is,
we have a video about that coming up, how she's been acting lately as well.
right.
It's kinda funny.
But yeah, I mean, I'll cut my opine short here, but at the same time, she wouldn't have been able to put together a quality team. One would have been handed to her. They would have worked in the background, and they would have just done whatever they could to kill Americans, to make their own, to fatten up their own pockets
And to stay in power.
Right,
And
and to
keep
stay in power.
Republicans from ever gaining power, just like what's happening in California for the last 30 or 40 years. Which is just sad
to say about that.
Yeah, well, what we gotta say. So here's some more where we're talking about how a lot of these Dems who are finally waking up and realizing the Democrat Party is just not who they thought it was, especially once they start to see the bullshit, and then they're not towing the company line, and so all of a sudden they're saying, well, wait a minute, I never thought they'd do that to me. I'm George Clooney. As George Clooney is going to talk about right in here for a second. And it's just, it's amazing. And if you don't see this, that this is what the Democrat Party is, and you're a Democrat voter, please wake up and please see what's going on around you. And please realize we don't sit here and bow down to anybody in politics, Republican or Democrat or anybody else. They are people who are supposed to be representing us. Stop treating these people like they're your family and defending them when they do shit wrong. And they don't do it for your benefit. And you have to see how it's not in your benefit, whatever the issue might be. So this is what's kind of going on. George Clooney, who's been a leftist forever. I like George Clooney. I'm just not a fan of his politics. And I think he's starting to wake up. At least is what this clip is supposed to be. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's seeing how they're just turning their backs on him and stabbing him in the back and really just not giving a shit about it.
Yeah. Okay. So here's it from a couple days ago.
War after Mika called him Obama's puppet.
This wasn't George Clooney.
What do you mean?
It just wasn't. Come on.
Who do you think it was? Matt Damon?
It was not Matt Damon.
Who do you think
it wasn't
it was?
Julia Roberts either.
Who do you think it was?
Ocean's 11.
You can say the name. You won't melt. It's not Voldemort. Are you saying you think Barack Obama put him up to this?
I think that Barack Obama has a lot of influence, and I think that there's
used to. I don't know.
There's a lot there.
Clooney saw that and called Mika's producer. How the F could you let her link me with Barack Obama, saying he made me write the op-ed? You F'd me. You're my friend. You should have stood up for me. The producer shot back. George, this is not an effing movie. There's no script. It's just not a movie where you go script page to script page. Clooney said,
Burn.
F you. The producer responded, F yourself. This is a morning talk show on cable channel. Nobody gives an F if we should just get out or stay in. Nobody effing cares. It's skywriting. Kamala's watching her party get carpet bombed and thought it was a good time to come out of the bunker. Don't you wish you elected me instead of Trump?
I will just play this through.
There were many things
This is drunk Kamala.
we knew would happen.
Remember, she starts turning ghetto here in a minute.
I'm not here, so I told you so.
Piers Morgan said on the 5 that Kamala was drunk. Do you think she's drunk?
Yes.
Or is she just ditzy?
Yes.
But Kamala isn't safe
all
from the
the
leaks
above.
either. We're finding out exactly what her campaign thought of her after she did this.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Her team realized right there.
That she is an effing moron.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, there's nothing I would have done differently. Because I'm still sucking up to the Biden regime right now. And,
Oh yeah.
Literally,
When she was
literally
to Obama like hardcore.
Right.
But this is another example of how they're just they're turning their backs. I was gonna say play a little bit more of that and just kind of finish out that example of I mean, they're even turning their back on Kamala, and it proves that she was a puppet.
Oh yeah, here we go.
And then the Kamala gave Trump the campaign kill shot. What the hell was that? That's not what we practiced. Saying Biden had a flawless 4 years and you wouldn't change a thing, that's bad. But picking Trump on for VP is worse.
Governor Tim Walz.
You could kill it there, but it goes along with what we're talking about is I mean they have. I mean, they do it in instant. They're
eating their own now.
Yeah. Oh, they are.
Which is just awesome.
It's awesome to see from our perspective. But it just goes to show there's no loyalty there. You know what I mean? No. And there's no loyalty amongst them if you have any sort of opposing thought. And it's sad and scary. You know what I mean? For the future of that party, to be honest.
Well, think about it. Think about it, people. If you're black, they consider you a Democrat if you're black. If you are Republican and black, oh my God, you have lost your mind. If you're gay, lesbian, LGBT, and all that other crap that they throw in there, and then all of a sudden, but you are and you're conservative, or you look at things logically, or you don't agree with everything they say, you're a pariah. Oh, but they consider you, oh yeah, we're the party of the LGBT, and blah, blah, blah. We're the party of the blacks and the Hispanics and everybody. Until you disagree with them. Until they could give a rat, you're dead to them. You're dead to me.
Well, we just saw that in this election. Yeah. Okay. We just saw that because what happened was they killed the economy and those minorities and even I'm sorry, but maybe not the T in LGBT, but the LGB in that whole camp saw what this party did to I guess their way of living, you know what I mean? Our everyday way of living. And they said no, and they stood up and said this is bullshit, and they opposed them, and you saw what happens. Not one swing state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Oh, but it was close and everywhere. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. Bullshit. Anyway, well, thanks for joining us on this podcast. We kept this one hopefully a little shorter and sweeter than some of the others. We appreciate it. And if you support our show, please go to therudebarn.etsy.com. Check out some of our merch there. We don't make much on it, but you know what? It helps us do this because we do this for free and we love it. We have a good time. And then also check out real quick,
beardedviking.com. Yeah. Get your booze. You can order it online or you can go to our Hooch Finder. Find it the closest place where you can get it from here. And we're shipping to Florida now, so you're going to be able to get it in the grocery stores and liquor stores in Florida. So look out for that if you're a Floridian. But other than that, sound off in the comments. We like to hear what you got to say, and we are not afraid of conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, gang. We appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.
Question everything.
Lunatic is on the grass.